Smackdown 9/19/25, the go-home show to the Palooza of wrestling. Now, by the time you guys catch this amplified review, the PLE might be going on to the airwaves. I know this is going to get out late to you guys. A lot of travel, a lot of business to conduct. But I watched this show. I did my notes, did my due diligence. There was no way that I was not cutting a review for you guys. There was no way my amplified unit was not getting a Smackdown review. So I don't care how late this goes up onto the channel. You guys are getting this review, and I want to start right from the jump, right at the top. Brockton Lesnar starts this show, and he's bullying around the commentary team. Michael Cole, he's grabbing his tie, smacking him around. Michael Cole's about to eat a tornado, an F5 tornado. This sound familiar? Not long ago, Gunther's supposed to be this big monster in the industry. Should have been booked as such. But instead, Gunther is tapping out to Jey Uso in 8 seconds at WrestleMania to his own move, the choke. And Gunther wasn't really seen immediately after. And when he finally shows his face, he's picking on the commentary team. He's picking on Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. As if that's going to what? Make us go, damn, Gunther's back. He's diabolical. He's badass. Gunther is an unpredictable badass, right, Braun Breaker? So anyway, you fast forward, and they kind of have Brock Lesnar out there, and of course, there's no John Cena. Most weeks, it's either John Cena's there, no Brock. Brock shows up, no John. When they're both in the arena, all Brock does is deliver an F5 to Cena, and we fade to black, and that's the end of the segment. So nothing has really gone on between Cena and Brock, even when they are in the same building. So Brock's out there, like John Cena was, what was it, last Monday or last Friday? Maybe Monday night. That's what it was, Springfield, Mass. And again, no Brock. So Cena was just going off about his college football glory days. About how he went to college in Springfield and he played football. He told us his position. Because there's no Brock, what do you talk about? Guess you talk about your glory days. Your college football days. That's the story with Cena and Brock. Cena telling you about his football days. So now it's Brock's turn. Brock shows up last night's show, top of the show. No John Cena. So what do you do with Brock? There's no storyline, so there's no story you can possibly tell. This whole time there was no storyline. Brock is for some reason pissed that Cena keeps F5ing him. That's it. That's the story. So what do you do? Just like last Friday, what did they do? They paraded Ron Cena out there, guys. Ron Cena, R-Truth. What does R-Truth have to do with Cena and Brock at the Palooza? Nothing. But they're like, we need something for Brock. Brock needs to F5 somebody. Have R-Truth go out there and say he's John's brother, Ron Cena. Because that's fun. It'll be funny, too. We can laugh at R-Truth. Because we haven't done that enough over the years. Remember, there was a moment he was going to be serious, R-Truth, and he was going to... the company, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, was going to finally start taking R-Truth seriously. How long did that last? Did you see last week's SmackDown? Hopefully you saved yourself the 2 hours, but I'll tell you what happened. He ate an F5 to Brock because there was no Cena and there's no story, so parade R-Truth out there. So let's fast forward to last night. What do you do now with Brock? Let's have Michael Cole out there. Michael Cole's about to eat an F5. But no. As the crowd chants, Cena, they thought Jonathan Cena was going to save the day. Don't worry, Michael Cole. Jonathan Cena will save you. No, you know who they got, though? Because, again, Cena's not in the building. Cena only works limited days. He tells you all the time, I have 6 left. I have 5 appearances left. I have 4, 3, 2. He always tells you how many appearances he has. So, no. You didn't get Cena. You got Corey Graves. Corey Graves jumps in the ring. Now, Corey Graves used to be a wrestler. So Corey Graves is trying to get Brock to get away from Michael. And he's like all scared. He's trying to really play it up. He's overly exaggerative, obviously, right? Please, just back up, please. Brock, just let him go, man. Let him go. And his hands are flapping and he's all timid. But Corey Graves used to be a wrestler, so maybe a little less timid would have been nice. I know it's Brock, and you're supposed to sell it that Brock's the beast, but you sell it better if Corey's acting like wrestler Corey in that moment. Still a little standoffish, still like, whoa, it's Brock. Dude, please back up. But be a little bit more pro wrestler because it would make the F5 that's coming up even more diabolical, right? It would be more badass. More than just a wimpy broadcaster is collecting an F5. Because that's what happened. Corey Graves ate an F5. I believe that's his first bump in a very long time. So it's ironic, right? We're talking about AJ Lee taking her first bump in like 10 years. I don't know if it's been 10, but I know it's been a long time, many years, since Corey Graves ate a bump. Especially, imagine your first bump being an F5 from Brockton Lesnar. That's wild. Now, this is where you kind of feel bad for Corey Graves because the crowd starts chanting one more time. Now, keep in mind, the dude hasn't taken a bump since, I believe, 1945. And Brock always goes off script and literally does it one more time. Every time the crowd says one more time, Brock will go off the script and he will do it. And the wrestler is like, oh no, because they know the crowd's chanting, Brock's going to pick you up, whether you like it or not, whether the referee is telling him to stop or not, you are eating another maneuver. And if it's Brock, it's an F5. So that's what they did, man. They chanted one more time. And sure enough, Brock picked this dude up, and he delivered a second F5. The crowd starts chanting one more time. BC's like, get this dude out of the ring. Get Brock out of the ring. Brock is going to destroy. Brock's going to kill Corey. Because Brock will pick him up again. But no, I will say this, man. That's when Brock did the unthinkable. He goes to the outside and he destroys the Prime Energy setup. Logan Paul's Prime Energy. He even took the big Prime bottle. The dummy bottle, I call it, right? That's the big advertisement bottle. And he chucked it into the canvas. All jokes aside, this is what I don't understand. He gets back in the ring and he grabs camera B. Grabs it, looks right into camera B. His hands are on the side of the camera, too. And he yells into the camera. He says, John, I'm coming for you at Palooza. It's D-Day, John. Screaming. Now, I like Furious Brock, but this is all ridiculous if there's no point or reason. And there's no point or reason. Like, for instance, why is he pissed at John Cena? This is what we still don't know. Nobody has told us why. We still don't know why Brock Lesnar attacked Cody Rhodes a couple of SummerSlams ago. Or a couple of summers ago, concluded at SummerSlam with them shaking hands. I've mentioned this several times last week. We still don't know why. And because of that, no story was ever created out of this. We're just getting a random match at Palooza. It's so bad that they pulled it from the main event, guys. True story. They're actually putting Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre in the main event. That barely has a story. Mac put his dope piece through the commentary LED board. He was gone for a few weeks, and now it's a main event at Palooza. But at least it's better than Cena and Brock. We don't know why Lesnar is so pissed off at John Cena last night. It doesn't make sense. He already F5 Cena twice. And if he was really pissed, he'd keep whooping his ass. No, he laughs, and then he walks away. So he's done. That was at SummerSlam. Then it was a few Raws or maybe a couple of SmackDowns ago. Another F5. And then he walks off and smiles. So it doesn't make sense that he's looking at the camera going, John, I'm coming for you. It's D-Day. Doesn't make... What are you talking about? You already did. You F5'd him a bunch of times. You did it 13 years ago in 2012. So without a story, this is all ridiculous. And because he F5'd Corey Graves, and he didn't split his jeans this time, right? This week, his jeans stayed intact. No blue undies this week. We're supposed to talk about how amazing this segment was. I would love to. I don't mind these segments. I don't mind usually when they add the broadcasters and the commentary. I don't mind it. The referees they're a part of the show. Cool. I don't mind this usually. But you can't just do it as a filler part of a segment. It has to be the meaning, the substance to a segment. It all has to matter. It all has to have meaning. This was literally because John's not there. They have no story between the two. So R-Truth, go out there and eat an F5 last week. This week, Corey Graves, eat an F5. You guys know I'm right. The story is what? Brock is just F5ing random people. I have to see Cena and Brock for the 14th time in the past 15 years. Is it so hard to just have an actual story, man? Brock attacked Cena at SummerSlam. Was it just for the moment? Was it just for the pop? Or did you think about it ahead of time, man? Maybe, there's going to be a story here. You're going to do this. And then on Monday night, you're going to explain this. And then on Friday night, we're really going to ignite the story. None of that happened. Instead, you know what we got the week after SummerSlam? Commentary said, well, we reached out to Hunter Helmsley and Nick Khan, and they said it was just time for Brock to come home. Well, what does that do with the John Cena story? Why are we getting John and Brock? Does anybody care about storylines? Are we just getting random things happening for random pops? Random moments? Random. Like the matches on these shows. Matches just to have matches. All right, that's my... Listen, this was supposed to be a shorter review. See what I mean? We're traveling. We got a lot to do, a lot of business to conduct. This was supposed to be a short, or at least a shorter review. And BC's fully amplified. Why is he so pissed at Cena? Cena has done nothing. Brock has F5'd him numerous times. And all of a sudden, you have to get your hands on him at Palooza. You already had your hands on him twice in the last month. Let me get some more Starbucks. As if I need more Starbucks. We'll get into match number 1. This was Charlie and Alexa versus Chelsea and Alba. Very good. A grande vanilla latte from the fine folks at Starbucks, by the way. And no, not grande Americano. Grande vanilla latte. Grande latte. Double shot, 3 pump. That's right. A lot of these baristas are heavy-handed. They make it too sweet, man. I just want a touch of that vanilla. I don't need you to put half the bottle of the vanilla in there, man. I want to taste the coffee. Now, perhaps I shouldn't have already had 12 coffees today. That's another story. All right, let's get into this first matchup. This is Charlie and Alexa, tag title holders, defending those championships against Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. Charlie is out first, right? Separate music. That's pretty cool. I'm sure they're doing it because they want Charlie to still come across as a singles competitor, but they want you to give her, they want the rub from the reaction that we all give Alexa. They want Charlie to get that, but they still want you to think of Charlie as a singles. Okay, cool. Charlie comes out first. I'm surprised they actually did that. I thought for sure she'd come out second, but she comes out first. Music's playing. She's doing her whole little robe thing. And then Alexa's music hits, and you could literally hear the amplification in the pop rise. The pop for Lexi, the amplification in that crowd for Lexi when her music hit was wild. You actually felt a little bit bad for Charlie. Because it was like, damn, if we came here for one of these two ladies, it's clearly Lexi Bliss. And again, it's what I always told you guys. This is why they put Charlie with her in the first place. It didn't work when Charlie came back after all of that time off as a face. They instantly booed. And then she just goes off the rails, so she instantly turns heel. This is what happens all the time. And then that doesn't even work. So they were lost, so they stuffed her with Lexi. Became tag title holders, and all the kids are really loving it, right? All the kids that yeet, they're also really enjoying Lexi and Charlie. So, hey, maybe, man. Maybe Charlie Flair can finally get some type of a pop in the future. Maybe. But if you go back to these entrances and you hear Lexi Bliss's pop, wow! That's where it should be if you're Charlie Flair and you've been doing this for over a decade and they have given you every rocket imaginable. For 10 years, Charlotte Flair has gotten all the rockets. Whether it is Kennedy McMahon, Levesque McMahon, Charlie Flair, championship, times 14. Add a few NXT titles. And this is with hiatuses. I don't know what this company's fascination is with Charlie Flair. But the crowd has not bought into it for over 10 years. And then you hear Lexi. Lexi was never given rockets. She's gotten some runs with the title, absolutely. Went out, had a kid. Was gone for the longest. But Alexa Bliss gets that type of pop. Why have you put everything into Charlie for over 10 years and you still don't have the desired result? Maybe everybody within those walls of World Wrestling Entertainment is doing it all wrong. Just maybe. But of course, Helmsley had to give the pinfall victory to Charlie over Chelsea. Charlie pins Chelsea. So we can't let Alexa Bliss win this match. And why is Chelsea lose? Not that you need to or want to see Alba Fire lose. She could really use some W's. But Chelsea Green's got to get more than this. Chelsea has had some momentum even as a heel. Even the work she was doing in NXT with Ethan Page has been so good. And guys, it's not even like it was some devastating finish. Chelsea just ate a natural selection and was looking up at the lights for 12 seconds. Next up, the Brons defeat Fraxium. Bronson hits Jagged Edge on Fraier, but then finally, a Tsunami made an appearance. I've been telling you guys for the last several matches and shows, Bronson hasn't been hitting a Tsunami. I was starting to wonder if his knees were starting to get messed up. So he went to a different finisher over the last several shows and matchups. It's called Jagged Edge. And I've been mentioning that. And maybe what I said kind of picked up within the walls. So maybe they're trying to go like, no, keep the Tsunami, man. People are starting to notice that you're not hitting that Tsunami anymore. So what he did was he hit Jagged Edge, and then he also hit the Tsunami. I don't think you're going to see it too often. I really do think something happened with his knees. There's no reason to go to a Jagged Edge when you have such a badass finisher like a Tsunami. But in the end, that will mess your knees. That will muff your knees up, and pretty quickly. So I think it's a smart thing to just do Tsunami once in a while. We'll see if he puts it totally back in his arsenal, or this is just once in a blue moon. But again, it was that Tsunami that did in Fraier. 1, 2, 3. Post-match, the Usos cut a promo on the Tron from Indianapolis. So they're already doing promotional work for the Palooza. So this was on the Tron. And them as a team, that's where they're at their best. I really enjoyed that promo. Jimmy Uso on his own cutting promos is beyond boring. Jey Uso looks lost, uncomfortable, fluffing up his words. It's just, this is why I always say, and this is coming from I always said the Usos are my favorite tag team by a landslide, no question. Why? It's not just their wrestling together. It's their promos. It's their chemistry, obviously, being twins. everything works. And this is why you split them up and you try to do this singles run. And because Jey Uso gets a word that catches on, yeet, and all the kids dance, that doesn't mean you give him an entire rocket. Because that 18 to 49 demo ain't going to be rocking out on their couch watching at home every week. And that's why ratings were going backwards. Jey Uso as a singles main event star ain't going to replace Stone Cold, Hulkamania running wild, The Undertaker. The Rock says Jey Uso's not replacing Shawn Michaels or Kurt Angle or Bret Hart, bro. That's just the truth. If you want to make him a singles competitor, you put him in the mid-card and like you first had him with the IC title if you want. But as being my favorite tag team, it pains me to say that separately, they're just not good. I don't know what Jey did separately. Jey Uso, his promos are just bad. His wrestling got bad. He couldn't even make it over the top rope anymore. He was exhausted. Super kicks, and then he just steals everybody's move. Roman spear, the choke from Gunther, and several other moves. He just steals a bunch of moves, and that was Jey Uso. Jimmy Uso went and called himself Big Jim, or Roman once called him Big Jim, and he just kept it. Problem with that is he's medium-sized, and he's mid as far as his booking and how we perceive Jim Uso. So, yes, getting back to my original point, them together, that's where they're at their best. Some people are just destined to be a tag team. I love Marty Jannetty. Marty Jannetty's incredible. The whole package together, he has to be a tag team guy. That's where he's at his best. Sucks to say that. Jim the Anvil Neidhart, he's decent on his own. Mid-card, all right. But Neidhart always worked best in a tag team. Stevie Ray tried it on his own. Stevie Ray was best when he was with Booker T, Harlem Heat. Not everybody can go and be the Shawn Michaels. With the Usos, both of them separate, just doesn't work. For a small demo, yes, like the kids. You guys know I'm right. And how do I know? How do we know? They just tried the experiment the last year. Didn't work. The ratings went backwards. The merch sales never went past 6% for the Yeet. Nobody's buying tickets to go and see the Usos separately. Now, together, they can be a big part of the show in the tag teams. And the tag team division really could use it. Now, the lack of tag teams isn't the issue in the tag team division. The lack of caring about the division is the problem. They have the tag teams. Anyway, I had to spend a couple minutes on that. The Usos cutting this promo, and they were just naturally flowing. No stuttering, no... It wasn't awkward at all. It was the Usos like it was 5 years ago. Like they didn't miss a beat. And it works. And we didn't yeet for 15 minutes to an annoying, nauseating level. Imagine that. Them as a team. That is where the Usos are at their best. Samuel Zayn then defeats Mello via Blue Thunder Bomb pinfall. This was a U.S. championship matchup, so Sammy keeps his title. A lot of this match was good. A lot was clunky. I think they were hoping that we would all look at it as a, quote, banger. But in actuality, it was just a match. Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, main event of Palooza contract signing. This is what ended the show. Drew says they'll turn on you one day, Cody. That's all I remember. This was a lot of just fluff. Much respect to Cody, much respect to Drew McIntyre, but this was your status as normal, right? Status quo, business as usual contract signing. There was nothing unique about it, nothing memorable. After they signed the contract, had a bunch of stupid words. Drew just headbutts Cody, takes him out. Cody tries to gain the upper hand for a moment, but only for a moment. Drew regains the upper hand, and we kind of go off the air after that. So nothing here. They sign a contract, say some words, and then Drew takes out Cody. Obviously, Cody is keeping his title at the Palooza. And that's that. So, I mean, not much to talk about there. So that's the show, guys. You know, It would have been a much quicker review if BC didn't have so much damn coffee and so much grievances on this show and just lack of stories and lack of common sense. But don't I always have to rant about that? But we'll see what the Palooza has. You know, we'll be looking forward to this, I guess. I mean, there's AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. I'm really looking forward to that. Seth away from Paul Heyman and the Bron Brons. He doesn't need them. Becky and Seth. That's all we need. That is a dynamic duo. I love that. Seth and Becky. He doesn't need to be with Paul Heyman. Paul doesn't need to be with Seth. Paul with the Bron Brons. Okay, do something with that. But you don't need this vision thing. And if you do, then Becky should definitely be a full-time member. But I just love seeing Seth and Becky and AJ and CM Punk, obviously. That's the match I'm really looking forward to. Probably should have been the main event, but this is a title match with Cody and Drew. I understand that being the main event. I believe Brock and Cena is going to kick the show off, so I guess they're placing that big mixed tag match in the middle of the show. And the other big tag match, Usos and Bron Brons. And then another match or two I'm probably forgetting up front. I forgot. There's all these matchups. There was a moment as well, actually. Did I miss some of my notes? Because there was Tiffany Stratton, wasn't there? Not sure why that's not in my notes, but that was a segment last night. Nia Jax, middle of the ring, flapping her gums. Tiffany Stratton comes out, says a bunch of word salad. Jade Cargill storms by Tiffany to go attack Nia in the ring. All these suits and ties, security is out there. Nick Aldis comes out and makes a triple threat championship match for next Friday on SmackDown. Post Palooza, not at Palooza. So I think that's why I brought it up twofold. One, that was a segment last night, so it's a good thing I did remember that. And secondly, that championship won't be defended at Palooza. I'm not sure what other matches. I think I went over about 4. I know there's another match, maybe 2 tonight. But we'll see what they all have planned, man. I'm not going to keep you any longer here. A lot of travel, a lot of business I have to attend to, but I will be catching the Palooza. You guys will at some time. I don't know when I can cut the review, but you guys will be getting an amplified review of the Palooza of wrestling, I assure you. Until next time, and there will be that next time. BC in the unit, we're saying check you. Salud.